Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Move Me Back series. Today I have with me Andrea. I'm so happy to have you here, Andrea. I want to hear all about your experience of Ghana. I want you to tell me absolutely everything. But first,
Okay.
I'm going to start by saying, are you Ghanaian?
No, I'm not.
Ah,
I'm not
okay.
Ghanaian.
Where are you from?
I'm from Singapore,
Okay.
and I think I fell in love with Ghana eventually. Well, yeah.
Okay. So how did you get from Singapore to Ghana?
It was because of work.
Mhm.
So basically, I was supposed to stay for 2 weeks just to have a feel
Yeah.
whether I like it. COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed a bit longer, and I pretty much like it.
Okay.
There are a couple of drawbacks, but eventually you cannot fall in love with Ghana. But
Yeah.
okay, that's the
Okay,
truth.
so hold on. So you came because of COVID? Or
Because
what
of
happened?
work.
Because of work.
And
Oh,
then
okay.
when I was about to leave, that's
Mhm.
when the COVID lockdown happened in 2020.
Oh, I see.
Yes, and not just in Ghana, it also happened in Singapore.
Yeah.
So travel restrictions were up. My flight was grounded as well. So there was no airplanes that was flying. I stayed for 3 months,
Mhm.
and then I caught COVID. So I had to stay a little longer, and then it became a little longer.
Uh-huh.
And so here I am.
So how long have you been here now?
3 years.
3 years.
3
From hold on. So from initially being here for a couple of weeks,
2.
2 weeks to be
2.
precise,
Yes.
to being here 3 years.
Yes.
Oh my
yes.
gosh. You either have lost your passport or you love Ghana. Which is it?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Well, I still have my passport. I still
Okay.
have my passport. It's hidden.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I like Ghana. I fell in love with Ghana because it's beautiful, it's natural, and it there's a lot of nature.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm coming from Singapore. It's a concrete jungle.
Oh,
It's one of
really?
That's why we describe Singapore, because it's basically buildings, extremely beautiful architecture. Those who
Yeah.
have been to Singapore, like the Marina Basins, all those stuff that you see, it's beautiful. But it's literally concrete everywhere. At least in Ghana, I can go to the beach.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really say it's clean, but at least it's a huge
Right.
beach. If I go further out to the west,
Yeah.
I see lots of trees, plantations, and that's relaxing.
Yeah.
In Singapore, not really.
Really?
Singapore's
So
small.
surprising.
Singapore's small. I think it's the size of Accra from one end to the other end.
Really?
You just
Hold on, is that small?
yes.
I
You can
didn't
get
think that.
you can get from one end of Singapore to the other, the longest train ride, within I think about an hour, 15 minutes without getting off at any stops.
Really?
Yes. I'm from a tiny country.
Tiny. I did not know that. Geography is not my strong point, but still, I did not know that.
Now you know.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what do you do for work?
I work with a mining company, so I help out with the HR processes in the company.
Okay.
And now we are going to move into NGO. We are going to set up help for the kids in the village areas for the studies, orphan kids who are left
Yeah.
around. So that's what we are moving into.
Wow. Okay, so how did you, because I mean, how did you settle from having been here 2 weeks to having been here now 3 years? How did you make that transition? Because obviously, did you go back to pack up? I mean, what happened?
I had no choice. So I just got to bite it down and I just settled. Then I
So
started.
did you go back to pack up your stuff?
No.
So
I've
you
not
just
been back.
stayed
I've not
here?
been. Well, exited to visit other countries, but I have not been back to Singapore yet.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
No, but I mean, sorry.
I know it sounds, it's mind-boggling, but it's not that difficult in Ghana.
Right.
Okay. Mine was unexpected, so all I set my mind to was I just got to figure a way out to actually make it livable. And then there's a lot of avenues where you can get your clothes, the food. Okay, food was a little struggle because I was Asian, Singaporean, and I had no other Singaporeans around.
Right.
So food was a hassle. But back then in Ghana, before inflation and COVID, it was
Yeah.
easy. That was kind of respect with even 100 CD when you go out.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it was pretty
yeah.
okay then.
Mhm.
So I kind of managed, and I'm curious, so I am willing to learn, adventurous as well
Right.
with food. Not really fussy.
Okay.
So besides the pepper in the food, up till today, I still can't no tolerance for the
So
pepper.
some people are like that. They can't. Yeah.
Yeah, so Ghana's not that difficult to settle in. Maybe a couple of cultural issues, cultural shocks. Other than that, it's pretty easy.
Okay. So what did you find was a cultural shock for you? Yeah.
The way people communicate with each other.
Okay.
And I have to be honest, the fact is this one thing about taking advantage of obroni. That was the first thing I learned.
Yeah. That's one of the first words that everybody learns. Yeah.
Okay. And I was like, I'm not white. I mean, the first thing that came to me was it means white, and I'm like, I'm not white. And then that was the first thing I learned. So when they were being nice to me, I assumed that it's fine. I was walking along La Boma Beach. I was just picking up shells, seashells. Don't really get that easy. And then this guy came along and he's like, can I help you? Because he actually was looking at what I was doing. And I was like, no, I'm fine. He's like, no. And then he ran away. He picked some up. He came back. I was like, okay, that's pretty. That's nice. Thank you. And after which he was like, something small. So I didn't understand small until he started saying small. And I was like, small? And that's when the man with the horse, there's lots of horses around. They were like, did you ask him for help? I was like, no. But he just asked for small. He just picked up shells. And he explained because he helped you something, he's expecting something back.
You didn't realize.
I didn't realize that. So basically, I was out alone and no one was around, no colleagues and stuff. So that's one of the things I was surprised. Like, Ghanaians are helpful, but you got to be careful because they do something and then they'll just look at you, smile, and they trail behind you and they expect something small.
Right. So did you give him anything in the end?
No, I just gave him back the shells.
Take your shells.
Take the shells. Yeah,
that's fair enough.
Besides that, I would say the way the women are outspoken and loud, it was a real...
Do you think so?
Yeah, I'm amazed. There's nothing bad about it.
No.
I'm just amazed because as much as I'm a Singaporean, I have Indian background, ethnic group is Indian, and we speak up and out, but not as loud as a Ghanaian women. And in all honesty, Ghana is my first African country. So it really surprised me that they were really loud.
How do you mean loud? Like in the markets?
Not in the market. Market is a whole different adventure.
When you go to the markets,
So I was sitting at Honeysuckle and the ladies were all dressed up. The other shocking or rather surprised for me, I found it amusing rather, that's the word. They were wearing these huge shades. Dressed up, really nice. And they were going and with this thick American accent.
Right.
And I was like wondering, why are they speaking with that American accent? Are they not Ghanaians?
Oh, so they weren't actually Americans?
No, Ghanaians.
Right.
And they got upset with an order and they kicked up a fuss.
Right.
And the worst, another experience was same thing at the nail parlor, which I was upset with her. She's a Ghanaian, went to the UK, came back. She was pretty bad to the lady, the nail technician. So the nail technician did it wrong. She knew it was wrong. She didn't even correct her. She allowed her to finish everything. And then she went on with her British accent in English and everything. So when the nail technician was close to tears, they were speaking to each other. She's like, I understand vernacular. And I sat there and I was watching her like, really?
Wow.
So in that sense, and then when I attended parties, the ladies are a lot more loud. They tend to dance and they make so much of noise, a lot more than the men.
Enjoyment, yeah.
And they can dance. Like really dance. Back home, a lot of us are quiet, we watch around like, is that the father, is that the husband, is that the uncle or the boyfriends? And then, we will be dancing just within the girls, not taking the light, unless you're in a club, it's different, but just house party. So they will be quiet, we'll be quiet on our side and stuff. But here it's different. And Ghanaian women can twerk.
They have the necessary tools to do it, yes.
It comes so natural. And so in that sense, and they're not afraid to actually dress sexy. Like, it's not even vulgar, it's just sexy. And I'm surprised. Like, I came to Ghana, I was trying to cover myself up as much. I was wearing those big baggy clothes. And I see another woman, sorry to say, but 2 times my size, and she was in this bodycon dress, and I was like, wow, that's a huge load of confidence.
Yeah.
And as months went by, I realized that every Ghanaian woman actually has that confidence
Yeah.
rubbed off me, helped me with my body image and self-image journey. But that's something amazing about Ghanaian women. So yeah, and other stuff is just let's just say family setup a little different.
In what way?
Not sure. Well, how do I put it? In Asia, or at least back home for me, family is everything.
Right.
So whatever we do, like TVs in the living room, you don't get TVs in your own personal rooms.
Oh, you don't ever do that?
We don't do that.
Oh, okay.
And I think even my friends, we don't, okay? And if you have dinner or lunch and if everyone's home, we are all supposed to sit at the dining table and have it done. So we'll try to coordinate and be back home at certain timings so that we can all sit out at least once or twice a week.
Right.
But here I realized that every room everyone have their own TV in their room.
Right.
And sometimes they are allowed to just bring their food and eat separately. They don't, maybe those that I've come across in Ghana, they don't really have like a family day per se on a Sunday or a Saturday. The maximum I've seen and heard is church.
Right.
So this small little stuff I find a little different, and it amazes me, like how tolerant parents are. If I do that with my parents, that's it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So I actually like what we're talking about right now, because I have kind of, like in the Black community, we see that sometimes we don't have great unity amongst us.
Okay.
And I feel like in the Asian community, you do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'm stereotyping here. What it feels like say when someone gets married, for example, the husband and the wife will still live under in the family house until they save enough money to buy their own house before they move out.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
And for a lot of us Black people, it's completely different. It's like you're getting married, find your way. Do you see what I mean? Like, there's kind of differences like that.
It got to do with, well, I'm not exactly familiar how it is in Ghana yet, but safe to say in Singapore, because property prices are expensive. Besides property prices, Asian values is we don't, even if we are in a uni, we are still considered kids. We still live with our parents. So once we get our first job, we still live with our parents.
Right.
Besides the rent prices being high and property prices being high, we still live with our parents. Parents don't let us off. And until you're married, we are still answerable to our parents. Yeah, and
until you're married. So what if you don't get married?
You still live with your parents. What is that? Filial piety. Yeah, high on the list. And even if you are married, the concept as to why we still live with our parents, I know it blows everyone's mind. Why we live with parents is because they believe, this is something I just recently got to understand.
Yeah.
When you're married with someone, you're living with a completely different person. And there tends to be a lot of arguments and, misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And being in this generation, we tend to buy something new than to fix it. So the perks of it from our ancestors, that's been passed down tradition, is that we live with family, so we don't really blow up. If you're living alone with your partner, you can scream, break things. Your partner will just walk out. You're not answerable to anyone but both of you, and you're both mad. There's no one to mediate.
Right.
So when you live with your parents a little, at least 3 months, or if your in-laws 4 months, sometimes a year, but that if you don't really do planning.
Yeah.
But most of the times, 4 months, 5 months, you learn to adjust, you learn to tolerate, and you learn to compromise. So it's not a bad thing. It's not really a bad thing.
So it doesn't look strange to have friends that are like maybe in their 40s or 50s and they still live at home?
No, with the parents, no, it's not really that strange. I mean, in Singapore, they do buy, I don't want to go into the government policies, but they do get their house and they set it out for rent. But unless they are married, a high chances that they, if you're single, you still live with your parents, you look after your parents. Economical sense as well.
Yeah, no, it definitely does.
Mommy cooks.
Oh, yeah. That's a great perk.
Mommy cooks.
I want to cook. Too much responsibility.
Mommy cooks, so yeah.
Oh, dealt with. Interesting. Okay. So tell me, what are some of the difficult things about living in Ghana? I know you love Ghana because you've been here for some time, but what are some of the things you found hard in your transition?
I'll be honest, housing, the rent. I'm living in Ghana, not in America.
Yeah.
There's a lot of news going around that rent should be paid in city and you should be charged in city, but that's not the case.
Right.
Every other expat would, they would tell you the same thing because we are paying in USD. Doesn't really make sense because this is not America.
Yeah.
But I can't really argue on it. And then sometimes there's this, not sometimes, actually most of the times, landlords don't really check up on their houses. Because the houses are left empty, not many can afford the rent in USD. If you're agents, you have to be careful with your housing agents for those who are going to come here.
Yeah.
So some agents, they do it for the quick buck and they don't check on your generator, they don't check on the water, the piping, the electricity, maintenance.
Yeah.
I would say you can't really fault them because it's only after you leave in the house you figure out what's going to work,
Yes.
So that's the biggest challenge I've personally faced in Ghana.
Okay.
Besides the language barrier, but the housing and the rental payment, that's the biggest thing. So you got to be careful before you get into an agreement.
Yeah.
Best not to pay up annual, even though landlords tend to demand annual.
Yeah.
You work it out like a quarter or a semi-annual.
Okay, so some of them are open to doing that.
They should, unless they want to get themselves reported for charging in USD.
Right.
They should,
Yeah.
and especially if the house left standing for quite some time, just got to be careful on the water issues, the electrical. Make sure your previous bills for the housing has been cleared.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, because my colleague went through the same thing. The previous tenant didn't clear the bill, had outstanding electricity, had outstanding water because they were all on postpaid. It was a nightmare for him. Yeah, so you got to be careful. You got to be careful on the housing aspect when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you find, I know you said you didn't mind trying, you're not fussy with food. You don't mind trying new stuff. So what kind of foods have you tried?
I've tried the bangku tilapia, which is the classic.
Okay.
Because it's fish. Up till today, I cannot finish an entire single bowl of bangku.
Really? Just one single?
I can't finish it. That's the honest truth. I'm not. Yeah, I can't. Just half of it. Because I don't get the texture of it. Okay, one of my least favorite is the okra stew.
Really? That's my favorite. Really?
My least favorite.
Why?
It's slimy.
I know. I'll be fair to you. Some people just don't like okra because of how it is. It's slippery like that. It's slimy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when we cook okra back home, it's those kind of stir-fried, dried. Not like this, like literally pounded and steamed and slimy.
The more slimy it is, the better it tastes. It's nice. I love it.
That was the most traumatizing, least favorite meal.
Really? Where did you try it?
I tried it at I think a friend tried to cook it for me, and then.
Okay, so what was your reaction like when you didn't like it? Were you polite about it, or did you say I don't like this?
Well, I did give a heads up, like.
Okay.
I did tell her like I'm not a big fan of lady's finger.
Right.
Like we call it lady's finger here, okra.
Yeah.
So it's like when she was cooking it, as she was doing it, I was like, I went to the stove. I'm like, She's like, try.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll try just one, and I was like, it's okay.
Yeah. At least you tried it. That's good.
Okay.
That's good. That's a good thing.
The other least favorite is I hope I'm pronouncing right. Kenke.
Yeah.
Kenke. The smell doesn't leave the fingers.
I don't like kenke myself. I'll be honest. I don't.
Like, okay, the actual thing itself is fine, but because of the smell,
You can't. Yeah.
My most favorite, omotu with groundnut soup and fresh
I love
tilapia.
that too. Ooh, good.
I'm biased because it's rice.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's rice, and then the groundnut soup and the fresh tilapia. Current obsession. I just experienced it. I never understood this dish for the longest of time, and then when I had it like last month, I'm obsessing over it. Fufu and light soup.
Really? Fufu and light soup.
I didn't get fufu because they say you should just pick it up and swallow it. So
Yeah.
I don't get that aspect. I'm used to just always, chewing and biting down.
Some people do.
So the first time when I had it 2 years ago, I was like, no, that's not going to work out. The texture as well. So I tried it again. The concussion, the food coma after having fufu.
I know.
I have to say, that was amazing.
Really?
That was amazing. I thought a truck hit me.
Really?
Yeah, and like 2 hours later, I was like, what did I have? What did I have?
They put something in the food. No, yeah, it does have that effect. It makes you sleep. Yeah. I actually don't like, if you give me fufu, I'll eat it. I don't like light soup. I don't like it because I feel like when I was younger, I was given light soup when I was sick. Okay. And so I think I kind of have that associate, not only when I was sick, but that's the cool way it reminds me of being sick. I'm like, so why am I going to eat light soup if I'm not sick?
I see.
But they put potatoes and stuff in it to, and I wouldn't choose to have it.
Okay, light soup is a personal favorite. Light soup is a personal favorite because it reminds me of Asian dish. It actually reminded me of this particular dish called asam pedas. It's really similar to light soup, but we have lemongrass in it, so it has this really lemony taste. And in Asia, we are more of a soup-based person. Especially growing up in Singapore, we have the Chinese population and the Malay. So we have all this gravy. You call it stew here, but we call it curry gravy back home. Right. And light soup is one of my favorite. And light soup was the only soup that brought me closer back home. Wasn't even the groundnut soup. So I've not tried the palm nut yet.
Okay.
But yeah, the light soup was very close, similar to Asia. And asam pedas was one of my is still my favorite.
Yeah.
So I have this fascination over light soup and food recently.
Current obsession, huh?
Yes, current obsession. And then this morning at the gym, workout was terrible, and I looked at my partner. I was like, hey, let's just think about fufu and light soup.
Forget the gym. Think about the fufu. I love that. So, how do you find? Have you been able to make friends here? How easy was that for you?
Oh, it was not. I came here unprepared, and I was working in a male-dominated industry, so it was really challenging to find female friends, and I wasn't really big on Facebook as well.
Right.
So I was basically work, home, gym. I was just sticking within these parameters.
Right.
And eventually, when I started searching for more Indian ingredients, that's when I came across the Indian community in Ghana. And then the ladies actually pointed me out, like, join Facebook. There's this Ghana International Women's Group and expats group.
Yeah.
And then you just drop in messages like, hi, I'm from Singapore, so and so, let's meet up. So it took almost a year because, with COVID and everything, and by the time I recovered, it took me almost a year and a half to actually build up those kind of contacts. And you still have to be careful. Because as much as it's called an expats Facebook group, you still have some Ghanaians in there. And you have to be careful with who you befriend, be it male or female. You never know what intentions they have.
Lots of people are going to say, why do you have to be careful of the Ghanaians?
Just
clarify that, otherwise they'll attack you. I don't need to be attacked.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's that I threw a blanket statement, but in all honesty, my first experience with ladies is, she came out with me, and it was my colleague's friend. We went out. She didn't carry a wallet. Oh, that's the other cultural thing.
I've had this issue before myself.
Yeah. And then
you are the wallet.
I became the wallet. The first round I was fine, but then even if I'm going out with my friends back home, I think maybe it's just the way we were brought up. We know that we don't just eat as much as you want. We limit ourselves to maybe 1 or 2 bottles of drink or food, just one.
Yeah.
The order just kept coming and coming and coming, and there was no stopping. And I was like, wow. And then we went out with some of the friends. Guys came into the picture eventually. Men came into the picture. And I limited myself to 2 bottles. And she was like, no, just order, he's paying. I said, huh? Excuse me?
Yeah.
No, no. Even if he's paying, everyone's hustling for their money.
Yeah.
She's like, no, just order, it's fine. And I feel that at least those I've come across, they feel this sense of entitlement that when they go out with a man or with a male, ask them out for dinner, they expect the man to foot the entire bill. Maybe yes, then again, you got to know where you want to stop.
Right.
And this is also a comment from some of the males that one or two that I went on a date with. They were surprised when I wanted to go Dutch.
Right.
They were like, no, I'm coming. I was like, no, you hustle for yours. I hustle for mine.
Yeah.
I agreed to come out. I was also curious. I wanted to know. So I'll pay half, you pay half. And that's about it. Or at least I put what I can.
Yeah.
And this was one of their feedback, or rather major thing with women in Ghana from them.
Yeah.
To me, that women tend to take advantage. Now coming back to the men. As long as they see an Oroni, they're like, the stories, I think some of the women are also familiar with it. Not all men are like that, but you gotta be careful. Anywhere in the world, I guess. It's not just in Ghana.
Yeah.
But because I'm in Ghana now, so I can only say Ghana.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say that it's anywhere else in the world. So as a woman, you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Whoever you go out with, make sure you carry your own wallet. Unless you know the men.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just have to make sure you are covered for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
In any case, if they ditch you, or they don't like you, but they just sit there, so you can bring yourself. Like, you can be.
You got ditched.
Sometimes they would be nice and everything, and then they're like, okay, we're done. And if they're like, so how are you going to get back home? So then you have to make sure you can get yourself back home.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think, I know you're a bit nervous saying what you're saying, but I think it's good to put this stuff on camera because you want to have real experiences. Now you're talking your truth, right?
Yeah, yes,
and so it's important to share. That's what I was saying to you off camera. It's important to be as honest as possible so that someone watching the video has a better idea of what to expect, and they're not shocked when they come here by certain things. Because if you don't know anything about Ghana and you come here, it will be a cultural shock for you.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Having heard someone's truth, you have your mind is a bit more open to it, So you shouldn't be nervous in what you're saying because I don't feel like you're saying anything bad. You're saying things that you've experienced,
Yeah,
so it's fair.
True. First time, so I know I'm gonna get some major flake as well, but it is the truth.
No, it's your truth. Yeah.
Personally, I wouldn't blame the men. Sometimes I guess it's because if you are outspoken, like. I'm naturally outspoken and loud. I hold conversation. So men generally have this assumption that it's easy. And they would expect that if they pay the bill, they would expect the next question is like, would you want to go back Netflix and chill, or what's your house? And when they drop me off, they're like, are you not going to invite me in? I was like, so this was a first few things, a couple of things I experienced personally in my first 2 years in Ghana. Navigating the waters, getting to know friends. And then again, you don't really want to just stick with expats as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't experience Ghana.
Exactly.
You lose the beauty of it because you see it through a lens of an expat and not a Ghanaian. You lose the beauty of the country.
Yes.
So but Ghanaians love to party and I love them.
I know, we like enjoyment, don't we?
Yes, enjoyment. Yes, that's the word. Enjoyment, and that's amazing because in Singapore it's Mondays to Fridays 9 to 5, and then by the time Saturday comes in, you'll be exhausted.
Yeah.
And Sunday we'll just mentally prepare for Monday.
I can't function like that. That's not for me.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Did you meet your partner here?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what do you mean by partner? As in...
Okay, because you mentioned partner, and when you said partner, I felt like it's a boyfriend. Or
No boyfriend. I'm still single. I'm still available. No, it's work, colleague. Sometimes I say partner. Yeah. So, okay. Good thing I cleared that out.
Yeah. No, I was just curious. So I was like, gosh, you've been out there already. That's so amazing.
So I tried dating 1, 2. Didn't really work out. Like I said, you just have to be careful. Yeah. And
Okay. Well, that's good. So on the whole, you genuinely like Ghana. You're going to be here for longer, or you plan on going back?
Yes. Ghana's fast becoming a second home. I think it took me 3 years, and it's only on my 3rd year. Well, very interesting fact. I landed in Ghana on the 6th of March 2020.
Yeah.
And then I realized it's actually your Independence Day.
Yes.
So it's really easy for me to keep track from now.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, Okay.
It's fun fact. To me, it was fun.
No,
Like
it is. That's a good day to land for sure.
yeah, unexpectedly, but yeah, no regrets. I'm gonna stay here long.
So is it up to you how long you want to stay, or your workplace
Yeah,
will say you have to move now?
It's up to me. They need me. I like it here, and there's something fun about Ghana. I can't really say what it is. It grows on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It grew on me as much as it's an hassle. You know, finding the right skill set of people to help you around your household. Okay, customer service is a non-existent thing here.
Yep.
Okay,
I agree.
one other important thing is if you go to any restaurant, let's just say around the hood, please don't expect everything on the menu.
Yeah.
Look,
Madam, we don't have that one, please.
Look, they'll say they have pineapple, watermelon, a few other fruits, and then when I pick watermelon, they'll go to the kitchen and they'll come back, Madam, no watermelon. Okay, give me pineapple. They go back.
Yeah.
So that's frustrating.
Yeah.
And it takes long. So I think this is one very important key thing that when you come to Ghana, don't expect the same service level that you get back home. Never. Because you would be I was frustrated. I was
everywhere.
mad.
I get frustrated. Yeah, it is frustrating.
I was mad. Like one entire year, in all honesty, I couldn't let go of it. I really couldn't let go of it. Look, the other thing is when you book your Bolt and Uber drivers, I put my location. And I'm going to let you know that this is where I'm going to go.
Where are you going? Where are we going? Yes. That lovely question.
So, and the network doesn't work sometimes, or rather, they didn't top up the.
Yeah.
So you stand in the middle of the street and you'll be screaming.
Yeah.
I would be screaming, and everyone who walks, but are you all right? Are you all right? So so this Uber, Bolt thing, the food, the customer service is not really here. But just don't come in with the mindset from wherever you're from. Especially if you're from the UK, US, Singapore, all these other developed countries. If you come in thinking of having the same quality of life and a similar lifestyle, you'll be frustrated with yourself. And you can't blame anyone else here for it, because this is how they have lived, and that's why it's anything happens, anything can work in Ghana, and it's beautiful because it's laid back. So you got to readjust yourself, get used to the local quality of food, the local stuff that you can find around here. Don't just fly off the handle. Well, I did personal experience, so I'm going to share. Don't fly off the handle. Treat them a little nice, because they have already been treated badly by their own bosses. You hear lots of stories. They are mostly, in all honesty, they are underpaid. So I can understand why they are laid back in their work. So in that sense, Ghana has a lot more space to actually improve in customer service. But for all of us expats who are coming in, trying to make Ghana a second home, don't come in with grand ideas or fancy ideas. It's been tried and tested by the locals. It's not like they can't think. They are really smart. I've come across really smart, brainy Ghanaians. I mean, they've survived here. Hats off to them. Survival of the fittest, like it truly applies. And they have tried everything they can. So for all of us expats who are coming in with any business ideas or entrepreneurship ideas, any of this, just throw it aside, come in, have a feel, and then speak to a few locals. If you have family, talk around, friends, build up your network, and then you invest your money in. So just don't underestimate an average Ghanaian. They are smart. This is something I would want to really share, because I've come across cases where some of them, return Ghanaians from the US, UK, and they treat a Ghanaian who's been here really badly, and it's upsetting. Especially during the November-December period. I will say this. So just mind it. Try not to be too fancy, and you'll be happy. You'll be happy in Ghana. You'll find a lot of special things.
That's nice. She answers my last question for me. I was going to ask you what advice you'd give to someone coming, but you just answered it ahead. It's like she just took that question out of my head. So thank you.
Thank you.
No, it's been awesome. I really appreciate talking to you today. I feel like you've given a really nice, balanced interview, the good, the bad, and you've rounded it up really, really nicely. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. I just hope everyone else likes it as well. Not too much of flake online.
No. You've done amazing. It's brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, that is the end of today's interview. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment, and share this video. Until next time, we are out. Nutitfafa.